Today we'll be discussing about different types of graphs and diagrams and statistics in healthcare data analytics. Okay, so what's the purpose of graphs and tables? The graphs and tables remain the most efficient and practical way to convey large amount of information quickly and easily. So let's see some different types of graphs and the keyword for it. So pie chart, the pie chart is the one, the keyword is it displays proportion. So if you add all the proportion, it comes up to sum of 100%. Basically, it is for a qualitative data. Next, coming to the bar chart. So in bar chart, it's the keyword for bar chart is comparison, where you can compare A with B or Mikku with Sikku. So that's how you have to compare the bar chart. The keyword is comparison. Histograms is basically to understand distribution and to estimate a population. So basically the keyword is frequency distribution. Line chart is basically to understand a trend over a period of time. It's basically you can have just a data or 6 months where you can compare the time series over data. So this is how it is. Run chart is also similar to that of line chart, but what is the difference in this, that you have a median line in between. So basically this is to see a pattern or a shift. So for example, if something you do pre and then you place an action plan and you then go and see the post effect of it. Next, coming to the control chart, it is a time series data, basically to check for outliers, the common cause and special cause. So the keyword for it is a time series data, whereby you have an upper limit and a lower limit. Next, coming to Gantt chart. In Gantt chart, the keyword is to show the progress of the projects at any given point of time. Basically, it's for if you have a project planning ahead to do or any new project coming up, then you can show the timeline of it. Radar chart was something new which I learned in this session, is basically to check the compliance and standards and medical records like file audits or accreditation compliance. The scatter chart, the keyword for scatter chart is relationship. It's between two variables, X and Y. So you will understand the relationship. That's basically the keyword. Pareto chart is basically the keyword for it is prioritization. So I believe I covered the keywords for most of the charts, and I believe you all have got some idea about it. Coming to the next PowerPoint, here I'm going to explain to you all the application of each tool in a real-time scenario. Please correct me in case if I have missed or made something wrong. To start off with pie chart. So pie chart, if you take a real-time scenario example, what I have given over here is the percentage of the doctors vaccinated with COVID vaccine versus not vaccinated. So it's just a pie chart where you can differentiate between vaccinated and not vaccinated. Next, coming to bar chart. The bar chart is basically the comparison of the net promoter score, which we can do in clinic wise. Here, net promoter score is something whereby you can differentiate between promoters and detractors. This basically we use in a satisfaction survey at our hospital. So I thought I will just display it. Next, coming to histogram. In histogram, the real-time scenario, what I've put up over here is the waiting time for elective surgeries. For example, if you have 30 minutes of waiting time and the next waiting time from 30 to 60, so thereon it goes on, you can have a bell-shaped curve of one particular department. Next, coming to line chart. Again, in line chart, I have put the net promoter score clinic-wise, and I've taken the data over here to talk to you all about is between Jan to June. So because you can just have a small data from between say 3 months or 6 months. So line chart will be better to display it, where you can compare between one clinic to another clinic. Next, in run chart, which I said earlier, it's almost similar to that of the line chart, but except for the median line in between. So what example I have given over here is the hesitancy rate for the COVID-19 patients pre and post. So basically to explain further, for example, you have a COVID-19 few patients who had a hesitancy of taking the vaccine pre, and then you went and did some interventions, you gave education, you gave counseling, so you've done an action plan, and then you have the post interventions of that. So it displays the pre and the post. This also the data we can take is from Jan to June. Going further in Gantt chart, the example what I've given over here is new QI software. So this is what when we implement any software, QC or QI software example I've given as since from the QIRM point of view. Then the time plan for the different modules, because you'll have modules to be fulfilled. So you can have a time plan of which month to go and which module to go in which month. Next,
Freedom,
coming to rate.
Freedom, ma'am.
Yes, yes, sir.
Please accept others. There are many people that are outside. They are waiting.
Sorry, sir, I accepted. Okay, so we were at the radar chart. The radar chart, as I explained to you all, is the keyword for this is basically the compliance. So when I say compliance, I put NHRA here. I've used abbreviation. NHRA is the accreditation body, the National Health Regulatory Authority of Bahrain. So basically, when they come for accreditation, the compliance to each of the standards, which we can display in the radar chart. It is similar to that of JCI or NABH or any of those. Moving forward to scatter chart example I have put over here is the relationship between hand wash and hand hygiene compliance. So basically, if the hand wash is happening very well and properly, the hand hygiene compliance definitely will increase the relationship between both. Going forward to Pareto chart, the Pareto chart analysis, which we can do or display for incidents and complaints, whereby we can list down or organize up all the incidents and complaints and then prioritize it accordingly using a Pareto chart using the 80-20 principle. Moving forward to control chart. So control chart example I've given over here is the biomedical waste in kgs from Jan 2020 to Jan 2021. So basically we will have a 12-month data over here. So whereby you have, because end of year has definitely need to be at least minimum of 12. So a 12-month data can be put up where you can have an upper control limit and lower control limit. I've tried to put up some graphs so that it'll help us to understand more better. So if you can see on the first graph over here, it's basically saying the staff vaccination status of different vaccine taken. So here I put it up in a bar chart, which displays the number of staff who are vaccinated versus the staff vaccination. Moving down is the bar chart. So basically this was, the pie chart. So pie chart, basically this example I have given you all of the staff vaccinated versus not vaccinated. I guess the number is wrong. The not vaccinated. So basically differentiates between the two. The line chart, this is what I was talking to you all earlier about the NPS, that's a net promoter score. So it's based upon clinic wise. So clinic 1, clinic 2, clinic 3, and clinic 4. And how do you compare each clinic based on their scores from Jan to June? Below here on to my right, I've displayed the run chart. That's weight in kgs. So basically, initially what was happening is, for example, in case if your biomedical waste, you are gathering it at one particular clinic and then transporting it to your main hospital pre, but then post in between what you have taken an action plan is you contact the main biomedical waste department to directly go and collect the waste from that satellite clinic itself. So when that happens, automatically your there's an improvement over here. So basically that's what it is all about. And Coming below is the biomedical waste in kgs. So if you can see here, there's an upper control limit and there's a lower control limit, and then you see the biomedical waste happening in kgs, and then all of a sudden you see there is an increase. There's an astronomical thing. There's a special cause almost over here. So there's an increase whereby an immediate action plan was done, and the team got together, and after the action was implemented, then we saw there's a dip. The action basically over here, the problem was the staff disposing the biomedical waste in not appropriate bags. So that led to the problem. And after we implemented the change, and then you saw thereon there was an improvement. Coming to my extreme right is the radar chart. So here I've tried to display the file audits, compliance, and I've tried to figure out the different categories in the file audit and the compliance to it. Right and below, I have tried to display the Gantt chart. So basically, if you can see any of the software tool, whenever you implement, then you have the modules and the start and the end date, and then it shows you the time plan whereby you have to fulfill it. Going forward, here I have displayed to you all the Pareto chart. So this Pareto chart will display to you what were our main causes or problems over here were the process related, communication and skin related. And then you can see all with the cumulative and all, it went up to 100% with the line from the top was drawn. And this is the 80-20 rule of it. So this was all about the different type of charts in a real-time scenarios and the keywords. What I collated and put as per my knowledge, and I believe what I've learned from Tenna sir, and hopefully it's understandable. So going forward, to sum up some of the research updates I tried to gather was one from the AGA Scholar 2020, which said that graphs and tables are the powerful storytelling tools and are critical components of scientific publications. We need to learn different ways to present data and then the things to consider. Then I've taken another thing from AHRQ 2019, which said that graphs and tables remain the most efficient and a practical way to convey a large amount of information, especially comparative information and numbers. Visual presentations, as we got to know in the class, are the most powerful tools for concisely making points that are hard to put in words. So this is from AHRQ 2019.